Hello and welcome to another one of Dynamic CCTV's technical videos. Today we're going to be looking at some of the new feature updates with HikCentral version 1.5. I'm just going to take a quick look through on the web client of HikCentral. So if you've ever used this before, you'll see there's a couple of changes just here on the web client. So within the applications, it used to be that the live view and playback were separated into two applications. Now it's been brought into one, which is the monitoring, similar to how it was done on the control client on a PC. So if we go into monitoring, you can see now it's taken us into four-way default split. We can then bring in our fisheye camera that we've got set up in our training academy. And what we can do with this is de-warp it within the web client itself. So usually you'd only normally be able to de-warp the fisheye camera using the software clients, such as the IMS 4200 and the HikCentral control client. But now you can actually do it through the web client on HikCentral. So we can zoom in here and then pan around within our training academy there. And this is using the newer Immervision fisheye lens. And now I can stop de-warping again. What we can also do through here is we can change the stream, so I can switch this over to substream just by clicking on the button there and then selecting substream. So now we can then click on the get camera status through the web client of HikCentral, and it shows the current status of the camera in the top right hand corner. So there we can see the current resolution and the frame rate for that specific camera, which can be useful in a few different scenarios. And you can also listen to the audio through there and enable two-way audio. If we go into the playback section through the web client, what I can do is if I then search for our front desk, we'll click on that, and there you can see our front desk there. Currently that's taking the footage directly from the NVR, which is motion only recording on events at the moment. But what we can now do through the web client of HikCentral is we can switch to auxiliary storage, which at the moment is configured as using our P store, which is an add-on software for HikCentral. If I then stop the camera and start playing back again from the auxiliary storage, this is playing back directly from our P-Store server, which you can see at the moment is recording continuously from the blue bar along the bottom, which we can zoom in and get more control of the actual time segments that we're playing back there, which is quite a handy feature through the web client. Instead of having to install the full HikCentral control client on a PC, you can use this instead just for ease of use. We then go back into the home page of the web client. You can also see that we've got an option there now for intelligent analysis. If we go into this will then take us into the analytics page through the web client. So now we can take a look at the intelligent analysis option on the web client of HikCentral. So in here you can do a few different analytics that you can see on screen there. We're going to take a look at the people counting and the heat analysis on our fisheye camera that's set up in our training academy. We're also going to take a quick look at the vehicle analysis as well. But if we jump straight into people counting, you can see there we've got the option for people counting for one camera or for one region. We're just doing it for one camera at the moment. Click on the add button there, select our fisheye from our logical view and then select the fisheye camera, and we're going to run our report on for yesterday. So that's just going to bring that data in now and run that. So if we go into the fisheye camera there, you can then see that it's got the timelines of when people have come into our training academy and being counted, so you can see the enter and exits from when it started and when it finished. I can then change it to bar graph as well, which can be easier for you to look at. You can also add to dashboard, so you can add that into the dashboard and create your own dashboard the system, so I can give it a name as a report. Call it HikCentral train report. It was the HikCentral train that we did yesterday. Click add and go to dashboard. So that's now complete. So if I then go into the dashboard, which will automatically take me to now, it will then display any that I have added to this. So there you can see the HikCentral train report, just as a quick look dashboard without having to go in and actually run the report itself. So now I can switch over to our heat analysis. So because we've got heat mapping configured over the road in our training academy on the fisheye camera, I can run a heat analysis report that pulls in the data from the heat mapping on the camera. So the same again, we're just doing it for the one camera. Click on that button there to add. Fisheye is the logical resource, and then the fisheye camera. We're going to run it for yesterday, and if we do a people amount and click on fisheye camera in the bottom right there, there you can see the different hot zones of where seeing the most traffic of people walking through in our training academy over in the different hotspots there, which is quite useful, being able to do this through the web front end of HikCentral through the web client instead of having to use the full version of the control client on a PC connected to the server. We then also got the option for vehicle analysis. So what this will do, if you've got an ANPR camera set up on your HikCentral server, this will allow you to see a report of how many vehicles have actually been detected by that camera. So if we go to our technical MVR and then select our ANPR camera there, I'm just doing a daily report and I'm just doing it for today. Click on generate report. You can then see the graphs giving us our daily report there for today of the amount of vehicles that have been detected by our ANPR camera. If I go back to the home page of the control client, there's a couple more things I want to go through on here. So within the backup and restore system data, we've got a new two options here. So you've got maintenance data and visitor data. So it can be quite important on the site in order to be able to keep a record of all data that's being held by HikCentral. So it's important to set this up. It's a feature that once it's saved, it'll automatically back up all the data that you've selected above, and this can be done either monthly, daily or weekly, and you can keep a maximum of 5 backup doing it this way. There's also another 2 additions there. What's also another welcomed addition is the option for visitor. So this ties in with the access control systems, the Hikvision access control systems. What this will allow you to do is, if you've got HikCentral server with some of the access control systems, instead of having to create a full new person each time there's a visitor to the site, you can actually create a visitor itself instead. Just in this page here, visitor registration, what we can do is click on the add button and then fill in the person's details of the visitor, choose the reason why they're visiting, and then assign them to an access group. The best way to do this is create a visitor access group so they have specific access rights within the building that this is related to. You can then also see a list of all the visitors currently added to the HikCentral system, and then be able to just click on them and see their details there, which is another handy feature. Another update within the web client is within the event and alarm section. So this is quite a useful feature within HikCentral. More of your advanced alarms you can configure, which is your double tap knock, where you can have one camera event arming another. This time around they've added some new features with the system monitored event, which allow you to have more alarms for the hard drives within the unit. So if we select our source type here as an encoding device and then scroll down to the HDD errors, so what we've got now is the option for HDD bad sector, HDD full, HDD high temperature, impact detection and severe failure. These have just been recently added into HikCentral, so you can configure an alarm from there using the action option within HikCentral, which is quite handy to have now within the system itself. And now what we're going to do is take a look at the new features within the physical view of the HikCentral control client. So some new devices that you can now add into the system. So you can see down the left hand side there, dock station came in 1.4. In this version we now have the ability to add a deep in mind server as well as the security audit server. What you can do is, if you have any queries on these or anything like that, if you just give ourselves a call at Dynamic CCTV, one of our guys in technical will be able to give you a hand there and give you any information regarding those two systems there. What we're going to do now is move on to the control clients of HikCentral and just have a look at some of the new features within that there as well. Now we're going to take a look at the main control client, the PC control client of HikCentral. So I'm just going to open mine here. There's been a couple of updates to the control clients for PCs, so we're just going to take a look at these now. Anyone that's familiar with HikCentral, we've still got our same kind of tile layout as our home page on the control client. This will show differently depending on the license that you've got and or your user permissions as well. We'll take a quick look into the monitoring section of HikCentral. So this is where your playback and your live view is done within the software. You can see there that's streaming live from our front desk. The same controls from 1.4 that we had originally, they are all in there now. There is a new look, the top bar, which is just a bit more streamlined, just makes it a bit nicer to look at. You've also got the monitoring section here. This has changed slightly. It used to minimize down the left itself when you hovered over it, but you can actually control how large each of these show now and just minimize the cameras if needs be, so you just have your shortcut icons down the left hand side there. What we can also do is, if we go back into the home page, the alarm center, so this will be where any of your events will trigger through to in HikCentral. You can see we've currently not got any triggered through the system, but these will also show now in the live view. So if you've got camera streaming, which we have here at our front desk, just click that arrow there. You can monitor all the events as they come through into the server, and you can break that down into your face comparison. If you're using some of the X model face capture comparison MVRs, deep in mind units, as well as the newer facial recognition cameras, and also the access control events will be shown here as well. So if we go back into home, you can see we've got the option for the dashboard. So this is what we looked at on the web client of HikCentral. So this is your analysis dashboard. So if we click on that, so now we're in the dashboard on the HikCentral control client. You can see it's brought in the HikCentral training report that we did on the web client. Because I'm logged in with the same account on the control client, that has saved to my actual account there. What we can do is similar to what we did on the web front end. So I can go into people counting and then add in our fisheye camera that we have the people counting configured on, and run a report for yesterday. Just click generate report there. You can see that's brought the data straight in. From here I can also do a monthly report and just run the report for this month. So you can see there the different count of numbers of people entering and exiting our training room there. That's running a monthly report through the HikCentral control clients. You can also export this as an Excel file or a CSV file, and you can change that, the time in which you want the report to be ran on. And again, we can add this to the dashboard as our report if we wanted to there as well. We then move on to the heat analysis. So similar to what we've seen on the web client of HikCentral, we can add in our camera here and then go into fisheye camera again, select the fisheye and set it to people amount and choose yesterday for our report. Select the fisheye camera there, and there you can see the higher trafficked areas or the higher amount of people that were detected by the heat mapping. We can then switch this to a monthly report and regenerate the report again. There you can see we can play through that report there and see how it changes over the different days. So you can see there was no one in there and there was people in there on the 14th. But that will play through automatically, moving through each of the days of the reports. So now if we move into the vehicle analysis section, so the same thing that we did through the web client, go into our technical NVR and then select the ANPR camera that we have added there, and we're just running a daily report for today, and click on generate report there. And there you can see the amount of vehicles that were detected today on our ANPR camera, and that's just for today's report. If I then change the report type to monthly report and click generate report again, that will then change, so that's up to 47 vehicles being detected today. The ANPR camera's only just been added into this the update. We go back into our home page on the control client again. One of the more important updates that's come into the HikCentral control clients has been to the health monitoring section. So if we go into this, you can see now that the real-time overview of the health monitoring through the HikCentral has been updated. So this shows you the status of all the devices that are currently controlled by the HikCentral server itself. It will give you the current status of the HikCentral server, any exceptions. So currently we've got 53 cameras added to our HikCentral server at the moment, and one streaming server and one recording server there. And you can see if you hover over them, it will give you if there's any exceptions or notices. And down along the bottom you can see we've got 2 abnormal encoding devices. Now if I click on the 2 abnormal, it'll then take me into the encoding device section, and it will show me the 2 devices that are showing offline there and what the error is that they're having. So the demo recorder that's currently offline, getting work done to our front desk at the moment, so that's currently disconnected. And on the technical NVR, it's got an exception on one of the HDDs, so that's useful there. What we can also do is click on this web client link. That will take us directly into the web client on HikCentral and give us the details. So if I log in with my credentials here, so if we wanted to, we can click on the link there, just the E in the monitor screen there, and it will take us to the web client of HikCentral. You've also got whether or not it's device offline recording, and we can also refresh that manually if the issue has been resolved. So if we go back to the real-time monitoring, there's also now the option for the auto refresh period. So at the moment it's set to 3 minutes. This can be updated within the web client of HikCentral to be longer, and you can manually refresh it just by clicking on that button there, and it will check on the status of all the devices. You can also display it to the smart wall. So I've got a smart wall currently added to our HikCentral server, so I click on smart wall 1 and that will display the current status. So this is going to use my inbuilt smart wall within the GPU. So that's currently displaying on this inbuilt smart wall within the HikCentral control clients. This will run on a graphics card. You can call ourselves Dynamic CCTV and we can go through this option with you as well. So if we exit smart wall mode again, we can also export the health monitoring, so we can do that as an Excel sheet. And if I just save this to my desktop and then just click save there, let's just take a few minutes to export the current status of everything that's on the system into an Excel sheet. So you can see there that's downloaded now. So if I now click on the open folder there, it's downloaded it as a PDF onto our system. So if I click on open folder, there you can see real-time overview PDF file, showing the real-time overview of the full system saved as a PDF, what time it was searched at and what time it was exported, and it's showing that there for us there. If I go back into our control client, on where it's exported there, it's also given us an Excel sheet of the encoding devices. So if we open that up now, you can see it's showing the two devices that are showing error. So this is great for fault reporting from any operators. You can just export the Excel sheet and the PDF and send that across to whoever looks after the system, the hardware side of things. So now if we go back to our control client, close that off. Down the left hand side, there's a few different options that have been broken down into. So you've got the options for our record servers. So you can see the current status of our pStore server, so our CPU usage and the RAM usage, as well as the current HDD usage, which is currently at 89%, and it's just showing the current status as normal, which is good. What we can also do is check the stream server. So we have our own separate streaming server set up within our building, so everyone can view the cameras. So you can see currently there's 268 streams, 237 of those are outgoing to different control clients within our building, and the CPU usage at the moment is just sitting at 7% on that server. You can also go to encoding devices, so this is where we've seen the errors on the two systems that were showing an error within our HikCentral server there, which is set to filter as all abnormal. We can change that to show any encoding devices showing offline or specific HDD exceptions. We can show that through there. If I untick that option, it will show all of the encoding devices that are added to the HikCentral server. It's also the decoding device. This is saying decoders utilising the video wall module within HikCentral. So you can see that showing the current status of that and the current firmware version that the units are on. So that's the health monitoring, which is very useful for operators to see the current status of the full HikCentral system, just with a click of a button there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have a quick look at the audit logs for HikCentral. So if I go back to our home page there and go into Audit Trail, so at the moment I'm just going to take a quick look at the server logs, so I can search for any errors that are on the system, any warnings, information, and these can be broken down further into different groups. I'm going to use the source as a user, but I'm going to search for, if I search for my admin account, so search admin user, and then we're just looking for today, and if I click search, now what that will do is give us all the logs of everything that the admin account has done on the system. So you can see there when we've started the live view of the fisheye camera, and when we stopped and started live view, they edited the dashboard, anything like that, when I've entered the incorrect password. So it's showing you the description there of the incorrect password itself, what the actual log stated, so that's showing that. What we can also do from this page is then export a log, that full log there. So if I click on browse and select my desktop again and just click save, so that's now downloading in our download center. Click on open file. I can go into our download center manager just by clicking on that icon there and just click on the blue hyperlink. It'll take me into the file location. Another option I can do is just click on the eye icon there, and that will open the file directly instead of taking it to the file location. And there you can see the exported Excel sheet of the admin user account there. It'll also give you the IP address that was logged in with the admin account, as well as whether or not it was the control client or the web client that the actual event came from, which is quite handy, especially in secure environments that need to track everything that user has done within the system. Another option within the maintenance tab is the option for real-time status of resource. So this will just bring in, it's just a separate view from the health monitoring. It'll give you the current status of everything that's added to the system, from your streaming servers to your recording servers as well, which is pretty handy for someone to be able to go in, just check that the system's running okay, nothing's maxing out, and there's been no errors on the system itself or any exceptions. So that's just a quick run through of some of the new additions within HikCentral 1.5. Another thing to note, it's something that we've been asked a few times, is you can now actually distribute the update using Active Directory within this new 1.5 version, which is pretty useful, especially on large systems. Instead of going around and installing each individual person's PC for the update, you can now do that using Active Directory, which is another benefit of that. If you have any further questions regarding the HikCentral software or anything else that we've covered in this video, if you give us a call at Dynamic CCTV, we'll be happy to go through anything we can help with there. There's also going to be a part 2 of this video that will cover some more of the features of HikCentral version 1.5. I wasn't able to fit all those into one video, so I thought I'd break it down into 2. In the next video, we're going to go through the visual tracking on the control clients, the new radar integration using Hikvision's radar solution, the advanced smart wall features, and there's now the ability to use offline maps within HikCentral, so you don't have to use the Google integration maps. There will also be the roll call, which is a new feature in HikCentral that I'll be going through in the next video for part 2, so keep your eye out for that going live on our YouTube channel.